Just the other day, I was scrolling through TikTok until I stumbled upon a video by this guy named Waldemir Enthusiast. He had the genius idea of making a best one-hit wonders video for his coaster TikTok account, and I thought it would make for an awesome video idea. So huge shout out to Waldemir Enthusiast if you're watching, because you completely inspired me to make this video. Now, what exactly is a one-hit wonder? The best way I would personally sum it up is any small amusement park with one signature roller coaster that'll make you want to travel hundreds of miles to experience. A good example is the up-and-coming Coda Land in Austin, Texas, who are currently in the process of building Palindrome. This will be an awesome new Gerstlauer coaster that'll definitely make me want to fly out to Texas and check it out. So I have a pretty good image of what a one-hit wonder is in my head. The only issue I've been having is where to draw the line. When does an amusement park cross the boundary between a one-hit wonder and a small park that has a lot to make your visit worthwhile? To be honest, I don't exactly know the answer to that, so please bear with me if there's a park with a little extra. Consider this video to be a top 15 for lesser known amusement parks you should travel a far distance to visit because of one particular coaster. With that being said, let's get right into the list. These are the top 15 one-hit wonders in the United States. At number 15 is Arnold's Park in Iowa. This place is known for their ancient wooden roller coaster Legend, which opened back in 1930. The park can be found in the northwest of Iowa, closer to Sioux Falls, South Dakota versus Des Moines, Iowa, or Minneapolis, Minnesota. Because it is so far from a big city, there's not much around it to make it worthwhile on a road trip, so I have no clue when I'll make it out to this place. But I know from those who are ballsy enough to make the journey a reality, they have said nothing but good things about the family-owned park and the classic wooden coaster that is Legend. Taking the number 14 spot is Family Kingdom in South Carolina. The state's only true amusement park still isn't very big and is only really worth the visit if you happen to be vacationing in Myrtle Beach. But because this is a pretty popular vacation destination, some coaster enthusiasts do find themselves riding the park's signature attraction, Swamp Fox. And from what I've heard, Swamp Fox is an airtime packed coaster. Some will tell you it's pretty rough and shaky, but take it from a guy who's basically immune to roughness, I think it looks like a pretty great time. Now this next one will get quite a lot of you excited in the comments, but all jokes aside, Quasi in Middlebury, Connecticut is a fantastic credit stop on a road trip. The park is home to the Gravity Group masterpiece Wooden Warrior, which I've had the chance to experience in the summer of 2020. Now even though I walked away with only one ride, I thought Wooden Warrior was a fantastic ride. The park had a strict height limit and had to build their coaster 32 feet, but don't let these stats fool you. This thing packs in the airtime and has little to no dead spots throughout its layout. Next up, ranking at number 12 is one that you never hear about because so few coaster enthusiasts end up visiting. Beach Bend in Bowling Green, Kentucky cracks this list for their GCI wooden coaster known as Kentucky Rambler. The park can be found in the southwest of Kentucky, not too far from Nashville, Tennessee, or if you're in a national parks, just 25 minutes away from Mammoth Caves. Kentucky Rambler closely resembles that of Apocalypse at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is a ride I absolutely love. If this ride's anything like that, it might be worth the journey to the middle of nowhere, Kentucky to check it out. Next up on the list is a park all the way up in Maine. This is Funtown Splashtown, USA, featuring Excalibur. Located just outside of the coastal city of Portland, this small park is home to one of the finest custom coasters and international creations left in the country. While I have not personally had the chance to ride it yet, my friend Josiah from National Coasters got to do it last year and says it's, quote, a fast-paced wooden coaster with fantastic laterals and airtime that takes riders through the forests of Maine. It seems to pack a great punch, and I'd really like to ride it at some point within the next few years. Breaking the top 10, we're heading to a state that you'd probably never visit if they didn't happen to have an awesome wooden roller coaster. Rampage, located at Alabama Splash Adventure, might be one of the most underrated coasters in the United States. Located just 2 hours from Six Flags Over Georgia, I'm surprised more coaster enthusiasts haven't traveled to ride this thing. I don't know if Alabama sucks that bad or what the culprit is, but honestly this ride does look fantastic. It's got a long layout with tons of airtime hills, unbanked lateral turns, and much more. So at some point, I'd definitely love to get out here and ride this one. A very obscure one-hit wonder can be found in northern New Hampshire at a park called Storyland. In 2014, this children's amusement park made the bold decision to build a small but intense wooden coaster called Rorosaurus. Now, from what I've heard, this thing crushes all of the other small-scale Gravity Group coasters in the US. I don't exactly know why just by looking at it, but if this thing is just as good as people say, it's pretty dang high on my to-do list. A ride that was also on my bucket list in the US until I rode it in December of 2020 is Switchback at ZDT's in Texas. To this one, I say thank God we had a rental car on our trip to San Antonio, because even though it's only 45 minutes outside of the city, it is also located in the absolute middle of nowhere. But I'll tell you, it was more than worth the visit because there was no line for anything at this park and their signature ride Switchback was great. It is the only wooden shuttle coaster in the world, meaning it travels forwards and backwards without a continuous circuit. The fact that this was done on a coaster built from wood is insane because you typically can't utilize steel coaster technology like switch tracks on rides like this. But the Gravity Group has once again proven that they are always pushing the boundaries for what they can do for small compact amusement parks. I would highly recommend checking this one out. Coming up next is probably the most obscure one-hit wonder to make this list, especially since I don't know many who have ridden it. Magic Springs theme park, located in Hot Springs, Arkansas, just down the road from Hot Springs National Park, is home to the ultra-rare X coaster. This is the only Mauer Skyloop coaster in North America, and it looks absolutely bizarre. You've got your signature vertical lift hill, but then the kicker is that the lift keeps going until you're suspended upside down. Traveling through an inversion that high above the trees looks like a trippy sensation and one that I'd love to experience at some point. Now, just missing the top 5 is one that more and more coaster enthusiasts are putting in the effort to ride. This, of course, being Zippin' Pippin at Bay Beach Amusement Park in Wisconsin. The reason this is so out there is because it isn't even really a park. Literally, the only thing that there is to do here for a coaster fan like myself is for this one single coaster. coaster, but I guess that makes this the best example for a one-hit wonder then. The ride is all the way up in Green Bay, which is about 2.5 hours from Chicago or the Wisconsin Dells, the next closest destination with an amusement park. Judging by those who have ridden Zip and Pippin, it is worth the challenge of getting up here because it is absolutely loaded with airtime hills. Coming up next is probably one of the more ridden one-trick wonders to make this list because it's near the popular tourist destinations of Orlando, Florida. This is, of course, Fun Spot America, more specifically the location in Kissimmee with Mind Blower. Now, I visited this park on 2 separate occasions, and both times it was primarily to experience this coaster. Yet another small park hit up the Gravity Group and said, we want you to build a super compact, unique, and intense Woody for all ages. What they came up with is an absolute masterpiece featuring many airtime moments, fast-paced turns, and even a 360-degree corkscrew. But I'll tell you what, this is not the last Gravity Group to make this list. At number 4 is Waldemere in Erie, Pennsylvania with the award-winning Ravine Flyer 2. I'll be honest, I was skeptical of putting this park on here because I thought there was a lot on offer despite its size. But at the end of the day, why do coaster enthusiasts travel to come here? For Ravine Flyer 2, almost always. It is an absolutely crazy wooden roller coaster that hops over and across a road and utilizes so many different airtime hills. It's a genius ride and makes the journey to get to Waldemere more than worth it. At number 3 is Kemah Boardwalk with the iconic Boardwalk Bullet. This ride is known for having the most sections of track crossing over and under each other of any wooden coaster. It was built on a 1-acre plot of land, yet it is stupidly long and never stops giving. Now, this is another one of those rides that looks amazing, but few enthusiasts get to ride it, which you might think is weird because it's in a city as big as Houston, Texas. But here's the thing, there are not many roller coasters in Houston anymore, and this is keeping a lot of enthusiasts away from visiting when it's 3 to 4 hours away from the next major park. I myself would love to ride this soon, but it would require a flight to Texas and a rental car or very expensive Uber rides. I'm sure I'll make it happen at some point, but it's a lot of effort for just one singular ride. At number 2, let's head up to Michigan, said no one ever, and check out Shivering Timbers at Michigan's Adventure. This is probably the largest amusement park to make this list, but they still only have one ride that draws in enthusiasts across the globe. Shivering Timbers might be one of the greatest wooden coasters ever built, yet no one believes it because no one's ridden it. The thing looks like a hyper wooden coaster from Off-Ride with its back-to-back series of airtime hills and camelbacks. It's truly a work of art from the seams of it, and that's why it's one of my highest US bucket list coasters. Now, number 1 is a bit of an interesting one because the ride currently does not exist, but it'll be opening later this year and is probably the boldest move any small amusement park has ever made. This is Air Force One, located at Fun Spot America, not the one in Florida, but the one just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. If you haven't heard of this park before, I don't blame you. And I don't think we need to ride this to figure out its number 1. Air Force One is going to be one of Rocky Mountain Construction's best coasters to date, and the reason it's such a big deal is because there was never a reason for enthusiasts to visit this park before this. Now that they will have a signature coaster, one of the best in the world in fact, and a ride that I'm almost certain will be the best in the state of Georgia, there's no doubt in my mind that Fun Spot Atlanta deserves the number 1 spot. But with that being said, those were just 15 of the best one-hit wonders in the United States. Of course, there were a couple others I was considering. One that comes to mind is New Mexico Rattler out at Cliffs Amusement Park in Albuquerque, but I think these 15 rides are more prominent. Whatever the case, it's always worth looking into small parks or FECs because you never know, they might have a ride rivaling that of a Cedar Fair or Six Flags park. While you're watching, feel free to give me a like and subscribe if you wish to see more content like this. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.